Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun.
Welcome back to Stealing Home, the most unserious baseball show on the planet, hosted by the best brother-sister duo in baseball. My name's Anthony. I'm here, as always, with my beautiful sister, Lisa. I think I say this every show, we both say this every show, but we're serious, and we were serious last show, too. This is our best episode we've ever had, arguably.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I feel it. I don't know everything that we're going to talk about, but I do know
it's a vibe.
That it will be the best.
It's a vibe in the air, and it's definitely probably maybe the best episode we've ever done. We're going to get into Willie Mays, who, R.I.P. Willie Mays, one of the best, if not the best, baseball player to have ever lived, passed away shortly before the Rickwood game. We're going to talk about the Yankees-Orioles rivalry that's starting to heat up a little bit. And we're going to get into our All-Star ballots because voting ends, I think, today. Am I crazy? Or 2 days from now? 3 days from now?
No, yeah.
I should know
week,
this.
I think.
I should know this, but we don't. If you enjoy our show that we do once a week on Monday, every week, go ahead and subscribe. We post shows every week, and we do videos on top of that. Lisa's got one coming out this Friday, and I really want to spoil it, which I think I already have for like the last 2 weeks. But
You haven't yet, and I applaud you for not doing it. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe this video, leave a comment. We appreciate everyone who does that. It very much helps. And check out Anthony's last video on the Kansas City Royals and the Yankees. It's a really great video.
It's a doozy.
It is. It's a long one, but you're gonna feel like you were transported to the 1970s.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
If that's your vibe, jump in there. Let's get into baseball.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And push to 1K. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. I think as of right now, we are like 14 away.
Please.
So we are so close. Tell your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your grandkids.
It's a show for the family. We're a family. Tell your family.
All right.
Tell everyone you know. Let's go.
Take a look at some baseball. Let's start with last week's results. The Mets beating the reigning World Series champions, which honestly, I think the World Series champions from last year are a little bit hungover. They don't look that good this year, the Texas Rangers. Doesn't matter. The Grimace Mets, the newly dubbed Grimace Mets, go in, win that series. The Phillies beat the Padres. Tigers get swept by Braves. We'll talk about this. We might have to talk about this for a little bit. Guess who's back? Cue the Undertaker music. The Astros are back. They've won 2 series. They beat the White Sox. Who cares, right? The White Sox, but we'll get into the weekend series. They also swept the Orioles, something that your Yankees couldn't do. The Yankees lost to the Orioles in the middle of the week. We'll talk about that a little bit too. Royals, my Royals, they're in a skid. They're not playing good baseball right now. They've lost a few series here. Guardians beating the Mariners. Mariners trying to hold that lead because they got the Undertaker chasing them in the American League West with the Houston Astros. Boston's playing really good baseball right now, getting swept by the Blue Jays. I think I've done a decent recap of the week. I know I just kind of word vomited a lot of stuff at you, but what do you see? What do you see? That's what I saw.
My gosh.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, you saw it all. You were like that guy from Game of Thrones. You saw everything happening all at once.
I am Braun.
No, I mean, a lot of baseball happened this week. It feels very much like we are in the mid-season portion of this year, right? Like, a lot of teams that had really big leads in their divisions are starting to see those come back down, like the Astros, like the Yankees. So it seems like we're going to get some dogfights for the end of the season, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, the Astros didn't have a lead, but I know what you meant. They're starting to creep up.
They're creeping. That's exactly what I meant. And the Orioles too. Like
now, I'm sorry, but I was going to say every week you've been saying how the Astros are dead. They are now, I believe, like 6 games behind the Mariners, and they're 2 games behind 500. So
yeah.
So
here's the thing about like divisions is that there's a first place, but then there inevitably will also be a second place. That's just how that works.
Yeah.
Am I concerned that it's the Astros in second place? I am not concerned at all. I think my take still stands. I think the Astros are dead to rights right now. And even when you have like a corpse, you do get like a final as they like
That's not what this is. I am convinced this is like in the plague when you buried someone too early and they tied their wrist to the bell.
We talked about the bell like 3 episodes ago about
the bell's ringing. Now it's ringing.
I don't think it's ringing.
It's ringing. It's just if you're at the top now, you're not digging them up.
Okay, well then let's talk about this then, because it's hard for me to hear that when the Astros are really not that far ahead from the Rangers. So are you gonna say you're saying that the Rangers are hungover, but then and they're the World Series champs from last year, but then the Astros, who are like barely in front of them, still, by the way, 6 games behind the Mariners, they're apparently alive. Like,
All right,
I think
Mariners.
you're
Mariners
a
in
little
first place.
presumptuous.
Mariners are in first place.
Mariners
Let me
in
ask
first
you this:
place.
who do you think is more likely to catch up to the Mariners and surpass them? Do you think it's the Astros or the Rangers? I say it's Houston. I think Houston has more firepower than Texas does. I don't know. It's tough because Texas just got Max Scherzer back too, and he threw
I'm
well.
not willing. Look, and I'm looking at the stats, and there's nothing to skew me one way or another, to be honest with you.
I think the last 7 years has made me paranoid of the Astros, and I just don't see a baseball where they're not good. And honestly, being a little selfish now that we're in baseball media, maybe we need them to be good because you do need a bad guy. You do need a bad guy in the league, and that's clearly the Astros.
Okay, no, from the ashes will always rise a villain, and I'm
Well, the
sure we're going
Yankees
to talk
too.
about that late. Yep. Okay, so
You
we
saw
will
it.
find a villain to root for. Should we get into the weekend
Yeah,
results?
let's go ahead and look at this weekend, this past weekend, what happened. Red Sox, again, staying hot. Jaren
A
Duran
lot of
is
brooms.
really leading
A lot
the
of
way.
brooms on this one.
Yeah, sweepy Sunday, I guess, for a couple teams. Like I said, the Royals not playing good, and the Astros beating the Orioles. Didn't see that coming, honestly. Really didn't see the Astros sweeping the Orioles coming because the Orioles have been playing some pretty good baseball lately.
Yeah, and it was surprising, not just because it was the Astros, but also because I feel like the Orioles, they didn't sweep the Yankees, but they played very well against the Yankees. I mean,
Yeah,
there was a game that was like
you watched
17-5,
that
wasn't it? Like
series.
yeah,
Yeah, you watched that series, and they played at New York. I mean, you
yeah.
tell me which team is in first place. Baltimore is in first place, but they're not. But it looked that way during the series, and they had a good
That's
chance.
how they played.
Yeah, and they had a good chance to catch up and surpass the Yankees. They just got swept in Houston, so that stopped them from passing the Yankees for first place. But Boston, like I said, Boston's really impressing me.
Baltimore or Boston.
Yeah, Boston's really impressing me.
Okay.
I'm saying because Boston's winning a lot of games, and actually, what I did was I went to Reddit, and I have to read you this. I went to Reddit and I went to the Red Sox Reddit post,
Okay.
Reddit forum. What?
Remember that we're, like you said 5 seconds ago, we're now in baseball media, and I don't know what you got from Reddit, but is it family appropriate?
It is. It really isn't, to be honest.
Okay, then I will allow you to read it on the chance that you can somehow clean it up enough.
No, I don't know if I can, but I went to the Red Sox
Okay.
Reddit and I asked them like, hey, like your team's playing pretty good. This is before they just had another good week. They had just beat the Yankees. I'm like, yo, what do you? As a Rays fan, I'm asking the Red Sox people like, how do you feel about your team? One guy, shout out Sandwich Crust. That's his username in Reddit. He was like, it's like when your mom promised you to get McDonald's after school and then you get out and are fully ready for some nuggies.
No, you sent me this one. You can't read it. Everyone go
right.
on Reddit.
All
You
right.
cannot read that. These people are unhinged. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's wild.
Funny. I
Either way,
enjoy it.
If
Not
that's
on the
what
show.
it feels like, I'll flash it on the screen really quick.
No. Yeah.
If that's what it feels, they can't read that. If that's what it feels like for a Red Sox fan, interesting. I'll say. I'm rooting for you guys though. kind
Reddit's
of.
my favorite place to ask questions like that. They always have very strangely specific answers about their feelings, which gives me hope that there's lots of people that are very emotionally in tune with themselves.
The Phillies.
So how do we?
The Phillies ended up winning the NLCS rematch again. This time in Philadelphia, and the Braves beat the
Right.
Yankees. So the Yankees have now lost, I believe, 3 series in a row, which hadn't happened all
Yes.
year. They've lost 3 in a row now. I think I have a reason as to why, and we'll talk about that right after, in the middle of the show after Willie Mays. But the Twins also beat the A's, and Pablo Lopez almost had a perfect game that series. He threw 6 innings and lost it in the 6th. He might have thrown more than 6, but he lost his perfect game in the 6th inning. How about my Rays? I don't really talk about them because I know I love them and no one really cares about them. But they're playing some good baseball right now. I told you they're extremely average. They don't suck. They're extremely average. So they have ups and downs. This isn't up for them right now. They're playing good.
This is why this weekend might be a false flag, because we're in the middle of the season. A lot of teams are fluctuating between players being injured and players coming back from injuries. We're about to head into the All-Star game or home run derby. Like we're in the middle of the season, and suddenly we're seeing teams that were very dominant not doing that. So don't I'm going to be very skeptical about this week, and I'm not going to make any like bold predictions based on what we've seen.
That's
The
fine.
only thing that like I will say is that it's good showing for teams that have done what they were that kept doing what they were supposed to do. Like the Guardians sweeping the Blue Jays. I know the Blue Jays aren't like a huge threat to them,
They're in a
but
rut
the Guardians,
right now, too. They were playing good, and now they're in a rut again. Very average, like the Rays.
yeah, but this is the time for the Guardians to make sure that they're solidifying their lead, and that's exactly what they're doing, and that's exactly what some of the division leaders are not doing. So good on them.
Mariners.
Everyone else, good luck with
Yankees.
what this has been insane. Like this week has been crazy.
Yeah, a lot of sweeps, like you said. The Giants getting swept by the Cardinals. Hey, the Cardinals have like the best record in the National League ever since I was like, I think they're gonna come back.
No, they do not.
I swear it to my life. I think they're like 19-10 or something like that. The Cardinals have one of the best records in the National League ever since I said.
Since you okay.
I mean, obviously, like I said, we're the most
Sorry.
influential show on the planet. Like I said,
I forgot that was like dependent on whatever you said at a
Yes.
specific hour
I said
and
ever
date.
since,
Okay,
yeah. So
got
ever
it.
since I said that, the Cardinals have been on a tear. If you want me to say that about your team, just sauce me like $20 in Venmo, and I'll say that, and then your team will go on a tear.
Say it about the White Sox right now, because Lord knows they
Well,
need
no,
it.
I actually wanted to bring that up. I've been telling my sister for the last like 6 days, I have been betting a single dollar on the White Sox losing. And check this out. Look at all that green, guys. The White Sox have lost a lot of games. They've only won one game, and I've been doing it for like 5 days. I've been keeping track. Currently, after betting a dollar for like 5 days, I'm actually up like $2 right now. So starting tonight, I'm now betting $10 every White Sox game on the White Sox to lose.
I don't support this endeavor, by the way, but thank you for bringing us your science. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Someone needs to do the hard work,
Look,
and
some
apparently
people-
that's you.
Some people think this is a baseball show. It's really just an investment show. I'm investing in the White Sox losing every week, and so far I'm up like 300%. So we'll see.
If you end up on TikTok telling people that the way for them to get a Maserati is by like betting on the White Sox to lose, I'm quitting the show.
I might not be wrong. Well, when I pull up in my Maserati, you're going to feel real stupid and wish you had, didn't you? See, what's really messed up, this is where the problem is. I start with $1, and then I'm like, okay, let's go 10. Once I start getting a little bit more comfortable, I'll say, let's go 1,000. Screw 1,000.
Yeah.
Really life-changing money here. And then they'll go on like a 10-game winning streak, and I'll look like an idiot and lose all my money. And I'll live in your basement.
And then you're like living in the house again.
Yeah, I'll live in your basement.
Yeah.
We live in Florida. We don't have basements. All right. Outside of the weekend series, do you see anything else until that Ohtani home run that he hit against the Angels in Dodger Stadium was insane. I saw that live, and I freaked out. That was actually every time Ohtani hits a home run, it's like a spectacle. That guy is so good. That's all I gotta say.
I think that is the home run that got him like NL Player of the Week or something for
It was a
MLB.
bomb.
No,
It was a
it
bomb.
was crazy. No, I mean, look, I don't know if we're gonna talk about it later. I'm just gonna say I am concerned about the power that Grimace has over the society. I don't think that it's normal. I don't think that it's right, and I think we should really question what is going on with that thing. I don't hate it for the Mets, but it scares me. So
The Mets. Have you remember
that's
the
the only thing I got.
musical? Do you remember the musical Damn Yankees?
yeah, of course,
Did like every single Mets player sell their soul to Grimace, and now they're winning?
maybe. I don't know. It's after that whole thing that they had on TikTok like 2 years ago with the Grimace shakes. Like this is
I don't
not a
even-
good sign.
What happened? Oh, it was like
remember that?
it was killing people, or something.
People were
was a
doing like
joke.
horror movies with the Grimace shake,
Yeah.
and so like they'd be like, oh, let's go get the shake, and then they'd cut to a scene where all of
They're
them are
on
like
the floor spazzing.
dead. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, yeah,
Something
weird.
is unwell.
Something's
We're
going
not
on.
right.
Something's going
Something's
on.
not right.
All right, well let's talk about some sad news. And it happened. I want to say either the night or the day after we recorded the show last Monday. But Willie Mays
I think it
ended
was
up
the
passing
18th.
away. Yeah,
I think it was last Tuesday.
Yeah, so after we recorded the show last week, Willie Mays ended up passing away. And it was sad because we had mentioned that, the Rickwood game was going to be, kind of a tribute to the Negro Leagues. They were going to have a lot of Negro League players out, and they said Willie wasn't going to be able to make it. Well, I guess we know why now, and it's unfortunate. But also, it is a little bit of a positive note because the game ended up being not only a tribute to the Negro Leagues, but kind of like a tribute to Willie Mays and who he was. And I don't know what you know about Willie Mays. Obviously, I don't know enough. Like I didn't watch him play. Obviously, I'm not old enough to have seen him play or watch him play. But as a baseball player, I think every baseball player knows who Willie Mays is. And one thing that's clear with all the stuff and the videos that people have been posting and the HBO documentary that's about Willie Mays, I think it's called Say Hey, Willie Mays on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
One thing's for sure is that Willie Mays loved baseball. And I just think it's unfortunate. I mean, you know how it is. Life's life, and people are going to go when they go. But at least we had him while he was here. Willie Mays loved baseball, and I hope to spread the game that he loved, because I know that's what he was trying to do. What do you think of Willie Mays and as a non-ball player? But
yeah, I mean, like you said, I am not old enough to have watched him play, but
no.
Yeah, I know. The blood of my enemies keeps me looking fresh.
Grimace shake.
But yeah, no, I mean, the grimace shake. Everyone knows who Willie Mays is if you're a fan of baseball. So, it was definitely sad, but like you said, I mean, it was just the timing was just crazy on the whole thing.
It was weird, almost supernatural, like.
Grimace, no.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's weird how things have a weird way of working out.
I think though it's always sad, obviously, to lose like one of these big heroes of basically a bygone era of baseball. But what's nice is, like you said, it's also a chance to kind of like learn about them again and to remember this time in baseball that is so unlike what we have now. One thing that, struck me as I was like kind of reading about him earlier was beyond even like the baseball stuff and all of that. I mean, I didn't realize that he had served. And when you actually like go into all of these players from that time and before, you'll find that so many of them actually did serve in the military, and then between their time in baseball, they did what they had to do. They came back, which it just, to me, it's like I said, it's a nice way to remember, obviously, someone who was so big, but then also kind of sad to think about this time of baseball that these guys were just they were a different type of men,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that too serious?
No, I don't think it is.
For the most unserious show in baseball.
Tribute. Because also I don't know if you noticed, but the Willie Mays catch. Well, obviously there's.
Yes.
The Willie Mays catch is when he's in the polo grounds running 450 feet and makes a catch over his head. But he also is just known for the basket catch. Like, you know what that is, where you catch the ball. Instead of catching it like this, you catch it like a basket in your glove facing upward.
Oh.
So that he just did that. And
he's why I know what is it, the 5-tool player? Like, yeah, he's why I know what that is.
I think one of his old managers called him, like, essentially said he has the 5 tools, which is hitting for power, hitting for average, running, fielding, throwing. He has 5 tools. And I heard some people even say he had a 6th tool, which is like baseball IQ, where there's a story about how he would like move his glove either direction to let other players on the field know where to stand. And he was kind of the general on the field. And the manager said, hey, whatever you control the field, I'll control the dugout and the lineup, and you control the field. And if someone doesn't listen to you, then they won't play. So Willie had that kind of, just a different era of baseball where you had that kind of. Now the nerds from Yale in the front office tell you where to stand. But can you imagine a nerd from Harvard or Yale trying to tell Willie where to stand? Get out of here. Yeah. But
no. Now the nerds tell you not to bunt, but before guys just like knew.
Hey, bunting's back. Bunting's back.
Or have college kids who don't know when to run home, but
God, don't get
different era of baseball, guys.
Willie though, he learned that basket catch while he was serving, because when he was serving, he was playing baseball for the force. So he was like going around, I guess, camp to camp playing baseball against the military people, and just kind of like as a source for entertainment. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he learned the basket catch because he wanted to spice things up a bit when he came back, and I just thought that was interesting. But
yeah, like I said, these are just different type of men. So it's sad to see him go, but we're happy to remember like the times we had with him. What a great guy.
The Rickwood game was dope because it was at the oldest ballpark in professional baseball, and the Cardinals ended up winning, which was like, come on, guys. Come on, Giants. If there's one game you have to win, it's like the one that the Willie Mays tribute game is what it kind of turned into. But I don't know if you saw this. If you look at the dimensions of the field, Rickwood Field used to be huge. They have a concrete fence, which is what the original fence was before it changed in like 1938 or something.
Oh.
Yeah, it was huge. And then it moved into like 330, 399 in left center. Still like a pretty big park in the gaps, to be honest. But the original dimensions were like 405 down the left field line, 467 left center. Center field was 478, 448 in right center, 420 down the right field line. I don't know. Can you imagine a day in baseball where we have dimensions like that?
No, with guys hitting on wooden bats, like
Well,
no, and
they
hitting
used
home
wood
runs
bats
out of
back then too, for sure.
no, but I'm just saying, like, no, I could not imagine.
I
That
kind
must have been wild.
I wanted to ask you this because I think, hear me out. I might be crazy. This might be a hot take, but I kind of wish that we kept the OG fence for that field. Like, it's just one game a year, so it's nothing crazy. But let's have a game where there's like some quirky dimension, kind of like the Polo Grounds, where I don't know if you're familiar with that stadium in New York. It's old, like torn down obviously now, but it used to be really short on the corners and like 450 feet or 420, like something crazy, 450 feet in dead center, which is where that play was with Willie Mays running and catching it over his shoulder. I think we should have these crazy dimensions a little bit because it leads to crazy plays like Willie Mays running like crazy to make that play. If the fence is like 410, that play never happens. That's a home run. What do you think? Is that a hot take, or should we have some huge dimensions?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I don't think it's the wrong take. I'm not really for all the renovations. I think if they have to be done for like the structural integrity of the building, then like, yes, let's not kill people because they're trying to see baseball. But like, other than that, just let it be what it is. I don't really care if the seats are small. I don't really care if like the bathrooms aren't the most. I mean, what am I going to this for? I'm going to watch a baseball game.
I'm talking about like the dimensions specifically though. Like, let's have a left field where it's 400, which 500 feet.
I'm talking about everything. Like when you start to, I feel like you start to change it. A lot of these stadiums they're like homogenized, right? Like they're getting the dimensions are closer to each other. Like it's not as interesting, like you said. You don't have as much interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me see some weird things. It's okay. This is baseball. It's supposed to be kind of strange.
Yeah.
Like that's what we do here.
Yeah. But there's obviously like, you don't want to have something too crazy because then like people start complaining about stats. Like if your fence is like 100 feet in right field and there's no right field, then like come on.
Well.
Or like the vice versa, like the opposite where it's like 600 feet. No left-handed hitter is going to want to play in your park. But what I wanted to say was there used to be some quirky stuff, and there still is some left over, and some new stuff that's like some quirky stuff that's getting added. And what I mean by that is the Houston Astros used to have, I think it was like Tamit's Hill or something, and literally there was a hill in center field. But like it was really deep out there, so it was very rare that a ball got hit out there. But every once in a while, you'd have a player making a crazy play, and he had to run up the hill, which is really hard to do when you're focused on a baseball, and all of a sudden the ground starts getting higher out of nowhere. And there was also a flagpole in the middle of the hill, so that's quirky. But they took it out for player safety.
Keep that.
Yeah.
More obstacle courses.
That's gone
all
now.
about that.
Yeah, let's have a river with alligators in the middle of center field. But no, and then
surrounding the pitcher.
San Francisco does have Triples Alley, which is like it's like 420 in like right center, which is like cool. That's cool, I think, because if you hit the ball out there, you can get a triple. That's why I call it Triples Alley.
Yeah, I mean, it changes, like, to your point, it changes how you play in certain stadiums, right? Because you have to be thinking about these things, and if you're hitting, you want to hit them in certain places. So, I mean, I think it's fun, and it also, again, shows the type of player that you have to be to think these things through, which I feel like maybe not everyone is.
Willie was, for sure. And it leads to iconic moments like, like Willie making that catch. Like I said, if the wall is 410, 400 feet, he's not, that catch is not happening. Because he can't run 300 yards to center field and make the catch. Last thing, while we talk about Rick Wood and Willie Mays played on the Giants, but did you also know he played on the Mets towards the end of his career?
I did not know that, but I'm seeing the photo right now.
Yeah, we have a photo here because once we hit 1,000 subs, we're able to hire historians. This is a video or a picture of Willie Mays on the Mets, and do you notice who's in the stands as a Mets fan?
Don't do. I got actually that gave me chills for a second.
Do you guys notice who's that? Is that Grimace? Let me blow it up so you guys. Is that Grimace?
Oh my god.
What is going on? I saw this.
Oh my god.
One of our historians showed me this. I couldn't believe it. And he's wearing a trench coat.
I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna say, "Oh, is Grimace there?" And then I saw him for a second. I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm dying."
So not only
that's hilarious. That's very good.
Not only is Grimace saving the Mets, but is he also a time traveler? I couldn't.
He might
tell
be.
you.
I told you, don't trust him. We don't hate him, but we don't trust him.
Yeah, something's going on. Something's going on with Grimace and the Mets. Yeah.
I don't like witchcraft, and
have to talk
I
to
don't
Pete,
like Grimace.
We had to talk to the Diesel Bros. Hit the Diesel Bros up, Pete and Harrison Bader, and see what they're going on. All right. Next topic: Yankees lose to the Orioles. During the series, they end up beating Gunnar Henderson. So what happened was the Orioles won the series 2-1. In Game 1, the Yankees ended up winning that game. Good game, solid game. Game 2. O's won in extras. It was a really good game again. Back and forth. O's ended up winning. So the series is 1-1. Game 3, the O's just spanked the Yankees. It was they throttled them. It didn't look like it was close. Now, in Game 1, Aaron Judge ended up getting hit by a pitch, and he got drilled in the hands. He ends up leaving the game because the hands have a lot of little bones in them, probably a little precautionary, and it probably hurt like crap. So they took him out of the game. That's Aaron Judge. Can't afford to have that boy get hurt.
You'll have to remind me because I know he has been injured, but this was after he came back from his hand injury, or
no?
Before?
This was
the thing.
Yeah,
okay,
this is why he came out, because he got hit with the hand.
Making sure.
Ended up being day-to-day. He sat the next game too. So Game 1 he gets hit. Game 2 he sits. Nothing serious. No X-ray, like no broken bones or anything. Just sat to, I guess, be careful. John Heyman reports, who's a baseball reporter. Word is Judge wants to play tonight, but the Yanks still play it cautious. A real dislike is brewing here. Yankee people are seeing an issue with the Orioles' pitching style. So that's the Yankees getting mad about pitching inside to Aaron Judge, Giancarlo, pitching inside to their big boys. What happens in Game 2? Gunnar Henderson, the Orioles dog, ends up getting drilled in the back by the Yankee pitcher. And he kind of he's pissed. You can tell he's pissed. He's throwing the bat, but he kind of takes his punch and goes to second base. I just wanted to ask, do the Yankees have a legit gripe here? I mean, Judge gets hit, and they start complaining about the pitching style, and then they beam Gunnar, and they're just mad because why are you throwing out our guys inside and hitting us in the hands? Do the Yankees have a legitimate gripe here? What do you think?
When you say legitimate gripe, I mean, has the Yankee front office made some sort of statement? Like, where are you extrapolating that there's
John
an actual
I'm
gripe?
using John Heyman's tweet. I'm using their past. Obviously, they have expressed the same sentiment against the Rays in the past when the Rays used to throw their guys inside. And also Nestor Cortez, a pitcher with the Yankees, did express that he didn't like how they were pitching their guys inside to Judge and Stanton, kind of saying, like, if you can't throw inside, don't throw inside. So do they have a legit gripe? Do you think they were in the right to being Gunnar, essentially? That's what I'm asking.
I'm probably the wrong girl to ask because I'm also the girl who thinks that we should like tackle on our way to second. So like, are we? You gonna ask me? I mean, look, I think in a series between two opponents that are very clearly trying to win their division, if you hit one player, particularly the star player, you should expect that perhaps you will get hit at another time. I think that's yes, especially if you take him out of a game. Right. And there's a question mark on whether or not he'll be coming back. Obviously, with Judge, it wasn't as bad because he was day to day. So clearly they didn't feel like he was bad enough to like really take him out forever. But yeah, I think you can expect that there's going to be some sort of retaliation. And frankly, that's what I mean. I think that's what you'd want to see.
Depends. So I'd agree with you halfway. All right.
Okay.
And let me explain. So Judge gets hit in the hands. Sucks. You don't want to see your star guy go down. And there's been a movement in baseball where it's like you can never throw at a batter. And I hear it because dudes are throwing harder than they ever have before. They're all throwing 100 miles an hour. And as a former hitter, I've never been hit with 100 miles an hour. I've been hit with like 94. That didn't feel good. So I can't imagine that 6 miles an hour faster feels better. Right? So I understand, but I think the saying that you can't hit anyone anymore is a little bit stupid. Sometimes you got to send a message, and some people won't like to hear that because they're like, oh, you're going to hurt people, injuries or sacrifice. Like, you can potentially injure people. Sure, you don't want to injure someone. I will say, if the Yankees hit Gunnar on purpose, they did it the right way. They drilled him in the back. That's where you should hit him. You don't hit him in the head.
Right.
You drill him right in the back, right in that meaty part, where it hurts. It does hurt. So look, I would not have hit Gunnar Henderson. I think it's kind of dumb, right? But if you want to send a message because you're mad that they're pitching your guys a little bit too inside, and you want to send a message, hit the guy or kind of throw at them, fine. I get that. But what I have a problem with the Yankees is where they go and they start complaining about the Orioles pitching style. Like, we saw this in the past with the Rays. The Rays threw inside. Because guess what? You have Greek gods in your lineup. You have Juan Soto
Truly.
now. You have Aaron Judge. You have Giancarlo Stanton. These are big boys, and they like to get extended on the plate. How do you stop that? You throw inside. You make them feel uncomfortable. And that's what they're trying to do to Gunnar and the Orioles now, too, is, hey, don't hit our guy because we're going to hit you. Whatever. So they hit Gunnar and start complaining about throwing inside. That's dumb in my opinion.
Okay, but that's my question. Is like, are you taking this based off of a tweet, or did they actually?
They've done it in the past. They've done it in the past. They complained about it to the Rays. And also Nestor Cortez said the same thing in an interview, and John Heyman said it. So, yes, they're complaining about it.
Okay.
Aaron Judge didn't
I'm just
FaceTime
saying.
me last night and say it. But, yes, they are saying it.
I'd be mad if he did that you didn't tell me.
He might have, actually. He might have.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. 1,000 subscribers, you get a lot of pull. But essentially what I'm saying is, look, if you're going to hit him, hit him. I wouldn't hit him. I think it's dumb to hit him. Hit him. But then when you start complaining about it, and then on top of that, if you look at it, I looked up the stats. Because, the Yankees are complaining. You guys are hitting us. We don't like it that you guys are throwing inside and hitting us. Let's check the stats, Yankees. The Yankees have hit 45 batters this year. Their pitching staff has hit 45 other batters. The Yankees lineup has only been hit 25 times. So do you have a position to complain about getting pitched inside when you're hitting everybody and you're not getting hit as nearly as much as you're hitting other people? Now that's total. Let's look at the Yankees versus the Orioles head to head. The Orioles have been hit by Yankees pitchers 6 times. The Yankees have been hit by Oriole pitchers only twice. Don't you think it's the Orioles that should have a gripe?
I think that you are protesting a lot for a guy who just did a video on a Yankees rivalry. Let the boys throw balls at each other.
That's fine. I'm not saying
Who
don't
cares?
throw balls
Let's
at
fight.
I'm not saying don't throw balls at each other. I'm saying stop complaining like a little baby. And that's my problem with the Yankees. And that was my problem with the Rays. When they were fighting the Rays on the same issue, they were complaining about the Rays pitching inside when the stats showed that the Yankees hit more batters than the Rays hit. It's like, why are you complaining when you guys clearly are doing what you're mad about? So if you want to hit us, but don't complain and start talking like a little wussy. That's what they're being wusses right now, and you can put that on record. I've been nice to the Yankees. I'm a Yankee hater, I'll say that, but I've been nice to them. I thought they were over this kind of girly attitude that they have when this stuff happens, and it looks like they're back. So you're right. Sorry.
Thank you.
Wussy. Is that better? Wussy attitude that they
is
have?
allowed.
Yeah.
Wussy is approved.
They got this wussy attitude about them. Like, you guys can't hit us. It's like, you guys have hit more people than you've been hit. So what are you talking about? And they did the same thing to the Rays, and they started being in the Rays. And the Rays did exactly what the Orioles did. They shut up, took their licks, and just beat them on the field. And then the Rays, what happened was the manager said enough's enough. We got dogs in the bullpen that throw 98. And then the Yankees shut up. They're like, oh, we don't want to get anybody hurt. It's like, okay, now the tune changes. But I think it's a bad look for the Yankees, and that might be why they're losing now. That's my theory. Whenever they start some stuff, they start losing.
I can't say that that's not a bad read, because I mean that is true. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's fine. Like, hit him back. I don't really care. In fact, I've been waiting for an actual fight this season. So like, do it. Yeah, I'm bloodthirsty. Go after each other, boys.
Yeah.
But as far as like the griping about it, yes, I will concede to you that is wussy behavior.
Wussy.
And I'm not here. Wussy.
It's all wussy.
I'm not here for it. This is the kind of stuff that I think as a reformed Yankees fan, and I say that because for many years I was a Yankees fan. I took a break from that. This show has made me potentially favor the Yankees once more, although there are other teams that I'm also interested in. Um, like this is the kind of stuff that you don't want to see. This is the kind of stuff that is not enticing to a fan base. I don't mind that you hit him. Just be classy about it. Like shut up about it, you know? And if you want to fight him, then fight him and I'll be fine with that too. But like don't then be like he punched me. You know what I mean? Like you can't
I hear
can't
you.
do that.
I agree. Like yeah, but like I think our both our
You're just like
problems.
so much more upset about this than I am.
This I've seen this happen like years in like literally recently with the Rays, which is my team. So I have like a little bit of a personal tie. Like why are we doing this again with the Orioles? It's because you guys are the big bad Yankees. You think no one can throw at you. I think both of our problem is you hit them. That's cool. We don't mind that. Send a message. We're okay with sending a message. But then to go and complain when you have hit them more than they've hit you, it's like, what are you really complaining about? And now, if you have been drilled like 20 times, and
Well, yeah, and I
then
think
now you
that's
have, now
I
it's
don't
legit.
I don't actually like that so much doesn't bother me because there's a difference in hits, right? And like you said, I mean, a ball to the back is different than one to the hands. One that's thrown at 80, although it very much hurts, is not the same as that's thrown at like 102.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not all hits are the same, and I don't think that that's like a good excuse. I already said, I think the hit on Judge was enough of a thing that I would be pissed about it if I was his teammate. And it would
That's
mean,
fair.
and yeah, I would probably do something about it because I'm pissed that you took out our star player. So not all hits are created equal. That one
That's fair.
probably deserved a response.
Yeah,
But then just be
the
quiet.
complaining. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
Feel better?
Yeah,
You
I
got
do.
that off your chest?
I
Okay.
told Lisa before yesterday. Actually, I was like, get ready to defend the Yankees with your life because I'm mad about them. I just wish they weren't like that. Like I told you,
I think the thing about Yankees fans now, if you're like a chill Yankees fans, which I consider myself to be because I've got 1 foot half out the door, is like, this is not for you. This is why they have had an issue, in my opinion, with like
winning.
retaining some of their fan base a
Nah,
little bit.
I wouldn't
you know?
say like that's not really an issue.
I mean, there's always going to
Just
be people
you.
that are Yankees
It's
fans,
just
but
you.
I don't know. I guess it's just like it has felt different. I think that's what Yankees fans would say. It's
Well,
not the same
yeah.
as it was.
No, yeah, it's not.
And
The culture
that's
is
why
trash.
people are not retaining might not be the right word, but like pleased with it is
Yeah.
definitely not something that we are. And so, yeah, it just makes I feel like as a fan, you just kind of like shrug your shoulders and you go, "Oh, I thought we were over this. I guess we're not. Let's see what happens now."
Yeah, I'm not even a Yankees fan, and that's how I felt. Like I told you, I was like, hey, this team's fun to watch. And then it's like they start doing the wussy stuff, and I'm like, oh, they're back. And then they start losing.
think
I'm like,
they've
oh,
got-
classic Yankees. Start some
I
wussy
think they've
stuff
got
and
a
start losing.
shot. They just need to shake it off and move on.
Yeah.
And the losing doesn't help with that because it puts you in a deeper hole.
At-
So
at the
at
end of
some
the
point,
day- sorry, I didn't mean it. At some point, what?
no, I'm just saying at a certain point, they got to just like reprioritize and go out there and win some games. And suddenly they're not going to care about this Orioles series at all.
And no one's scared of them. No one's scared of them like they think that they should be. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the beanballs, kind of good for baseball. Let's see a little bit
100%.
of passion. Let's see some rivalry brewing.
100%.
and
And
no-
I also think what you just said there is very important is that no one is scared of the Yankees. And frankly, no one has any reason to be scared of the Yankees. They're doing very well right now. And yes, I will defend them on the fact that they do have a very good record right now compared to other teams. But
Don't fuck it up. Excuse me.
yeah, and
Don't
no
screw it
one
up. Family friendly. Family friendly.
and
Sorry
and
for cussing.
frankly, I don't think anyone doesn't expect them to screw it up. Like
Yeah, seriously.
you know,
I-
like I've been fighting for them this season, and even I am like, at any moment, this could all go away.
All right. Let's change
Move
it.
on from the Yankees. That's
Yeah.
all I gotta say.
All-Star Game, All-Star Ballots. Let's start looking at stealing home's All-Star Game ballot. We both
Ooh, I
picked
forgot about this.
our teams. Let's start with the American League. Do you have yours? Do you need me to tell you who you picked? Do you remember? Because it happened last night, but we might be a little.
Could you send me it? You have a photo, right?
It
Or no,
should
I
be
have
in,
one.
just
I think
it
I
should
have
be in
one.
the text messages. But
Yeah,
let's
hold
see.
on.
All right. It starts American League. Let's look at the first baseman. And then we'll just go position by position. We have our friendly friend Grimace here blocking the names, and I'll just move it
Very nice.
position by position. All right, so first base. Lisa, you picked Josh Naylor for the Cleveland Guardians. I picked Ryan Mountcastle. I believe Mountcastle's in first for the American League in votes. Vladdy Guerrero is second. Why'd you go with Josh Naylor? What popped out to you?
I am currently pulling this up. I apologize. I did not have it up until this moment. But I think with Josh Naylor, I think he just had better, like when I read it, I just saw better stats. So I'm gonna have to check out what I saw again, to be honest with you, because
Well, he's hitting 244. He's got 20 bombs. He has more bombs than Ryan Mountcastle, who has 11. So maybe you went based off the home runs. I picked Mountcastle just because he's got, and honestly, Naylor has a higher OPS, on base plus slugging.
okay, I just pulled it up. So with Naylor, I felt like not only does he have a higher OPS, his average is somewhat just as good as Mountcastle's. He also has more home runs, and I really like the amount of, 58 RBIs is not nothing.
No, it's a lot.
Seeing those two guys compared also to Vladdy, who's in number 2, I was honestly shocked that Naylor isn't doing better. I mean, I know that Vladdy and Mountcastle are probably bigger names. That's fine. But the Guardians have been doing well. So I don't know why he wouldn't get more love other than maybe he's just not as popular. I don't know all these guys. So I'm at a disadvantage here.
Fair. But I think, honestly, you probably made a good pick because Josh Naylor is way under voted for. Like, when you look at him compared to Vladdy, I think he should be in over Vladdy.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
But I picked Mountcastle. I just like Mountcastle's average more than I'm an average sucker. I love batting average, which you'll see later. But let's look at the second baseman. We both picked Altuve. I think another dude I was looking at here was the dude from the Royals, Massey, or Michael, whatever his name is, Massey. I don't know if his first name's Michael or not. But the dude on the Royals, he's hitting 294 with 6 bombs and 23 RBIs. Now, I don't know
I stopped for him. I also stopped for Willie Castro, who's with the Twins, I think. Sorry, still loading.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I mean, I think Altuve was like the obvious choice there, unfortunately.
This
for the
race
other
is
guys.
unfortunately. Wow, you don't like Altuve?
Well,
Astros.
no, for the other guys, I feel bad,
Oh.
but yeah, it's gonna be Altuve for me.
The top two here are Simeon and Altuve, and I'm going with Altuve over Simeon because his higher average and more like one more home run. I think you got to give it to Altuve. Third base, Jose Ramirez. For both of us, we picked Jose Ramirez. Now, I think he should be the starter. The other dude for the Orioles, Westberg, he's gross, but J-Ram's better in my opinion. He's got more home runs and 68 RBIs is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
No, I think there's some here that are just like they're gonna be kind of obvious.
This
to
is
me.
where you went crazy. For shortstop, you picked Carlos Correa.
Yes.
And I went Gunnar
I did.
Henderson. I thought the top two here, and this is what like the votes show, the top two in votes are Gunnar and Bobby Witt. Gunner's number 1, Bobby Witt's number 2. You know me, I love Bobby Witt. I'm a Bobby Witt fan. But I had to go Gunnar just because he's got more home runs than Bobby Witt does. And the Orioles are playing better baseball right now than the Royals. So I'm kind of, I don't know if I should have done it this way, but if they were close, I kind of picked the team that was better. Like whoever's team was better, I picked that guy. So I had to go Gunnar. As a Bobby Witt fan, I picked Gunnar Henderson. He's just been on a tear. Now, why the hell did you pick Carlos Correa? And I looked, and he actually has some pretty solid stats.
Yeah, so I was looking at Correa and Henderson and Witt as well. I almost went with Witt. I was not I don't know what I have against Gunnar Henderson, and I swear it has nothing to do with our previous conversation. Yeah, it might be the Orioles. And I think really honest with you is I was looking at my ballot and I was looking at all the teams that I was going to have, and I just wanted a little bit more diversity. I didn't want to be picking all this people from all the same teams. Carlos Correa was, I think, the only person I picked from the Twins. So I thought, why not? He's got decent stats.
He's hitting the 300s. I like his name.
Yeah. He looks like he's so excited to be here, and I love that attitude. So yeah, I like this guy. Let's go with him.
Let's look at the outfielders. Let's do all 3 outfielders here. I went with the exact same thing you went as. Judge, Kwan, and Soto. We both went Judge, Kwan, and Soto. I think Judge and Soto are like, don't you have to argue that. You don't have to argue Judge and Soto. Now.
No.
Something tough here. I thought Steven Kwan He's hitting 398. Like, he's close to hitting 400. I know it's really early in the year, and he missed like a month. Now, I thought Jarren Duran also deserves to be an All-Star. And I don't know if he's starting, but there's an argument to be made for Jarren Duran. He's a center fielder for the Red Sox. He's having a really good year right now, hitting 288, 7 bombs, 36 RBIs. But a lot of his value isn't shown in those stats, too, because he's a really good base runner, and he plays really good defense. And he's kind of like the catalyst for that Red Sox team. I think he should get some love. Stephen Kwan, obviously, hitting 398. We're giving him love. We voted him in. There was one other person. Kyle Tucker. That's the dude. Now, we might be missing out on this. I put Kwan over Tucker. Everyone else has Tucker going third. Kyle Tucker plays for the right field for the Houston Astros. He's having a really good year. He's got 40 RBIs, 19 bombs, but he's hitting 266. I had to go with Kwan, though, just because he's hitting 398. I know he's missed time, but that 398 is crazy. He doesn't strike out.
Yeah, I think that was one for me where, like you said, sometimes you just went with the team that you felt was better. And
You hate
I
the
was
Astros.
like, well, the Astros, I don't know if you've heard, they're dead.
They're not.
And I don't like the Red Sox because I did look at Duran and I was like, no Red Sox on my ballot. And so
That's
I
crazy.
chose Kwan.
Duran's been a good player. I hope he deserves to be an All-Star. If not, I don't think he's going to be a starter, but he deserves to be. Outfield is so hard. There's so many outfielders, but all right.
That's what it is that there's so many options with outfielder. You really can't go bad. And it kind of sucks that Judge and Soto, I mean, it's a good problem to have, but it kind of sucks that like immediately off the bat, you're like Judge and Soto are in there. So that leaves me one spot.
For catcher, we went, yeah, exactly. But for catcher, we both went Adley Rutschman. I think he's the best catcher in baseball right now, in my opinion. So I think that's an easy. He's hitting 302, 14 jacks, 53 RBIs. Now, Salvador Perez, though, having a really good year, too. If it wasn't for Adley Rutschman being in the American League, Salvador Perez is starting. And he's got second vote, so.
Yeah, no, Salvador Perez was my second choice. I almost went with him, like I said, just to like have some more diversity in my ballot, but then I realized I didn't have any Orioles in my ballot, and I was like, well, that's a misstep if I don't have any of them. And I had to go with Adley Rutschman.
Some dudes that deserve some love here. Connor Wong with the Red Sox. He's having a good year. Logan O'Hoppe with the Angels. That's like one name that, other than Trout, who's perpetually hurt now, unfortunately, it seems. O'Hoppe is another dude on the Angels who deserves some love. All right, and then last but not least, designated hitter. We both went with Yordan Alvarez.
Harry Carpenter was not a far reach for me, but
how many games has he
unfortunately,
played? Also, who's this Fry? We were talking like, who the hell's this Fry dude from Cleveland? The guy's on a tear.
Yeah.
310.
No,
8
there's
bombs.
some people on here that I'm like, who? What's going on? I mean, where'd you come from? But yeah, no, I mean, even though I'm not an Astros fan, I did go with Alvarez. So.
Yeah, we both went Alvarez, and
that felt like another one that it was like, if I don't do this, I'm just shooting myself in the foot for no reason.
You're showing your biases. And Giancarlo is second in
exactly.
votes with designated hitter. He's having a good
that
year.
one to me is like, I know his averages of like he's been doing well, but like that one still to me is like kind of crazy.
He's got
I don't
18
know why.
jacks. 18 jacks. Come on now.
Yeah, but even you were the one saying that like he's not all that. Stan, I said that to you
Well,
once.
in
I was
relation
like,
to his
Stan's-
contract, he's getting paid like Babe Ruth. So
Yeah, okay, well, how can you say that when Otani's making like 700? Like, what's the scale here? You know?
He's getting paid a lot, and he was hurt, and he's hurt again now, unfortunately. But it shouldn't be that long.
Yeah.
I think he's having a good year. Stanton's having a good year right now. All right,
He's
now,
having a fine year, yeah.
This is our American League All-Star Ballot. Crucify us. Tell us we're the smartest ever. Either or. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let's go ahead and check out the National League here. Start off with the first baseman again. We're going Bryce Harper. Come on. He's one of the most electric players in the league. Is that the wrong answer?
I really wanted to go with Freddie Freeman.
Ooh.
And then I wanted, because his stats are not far off, and I personally like him more than I like Bryce Harper. But based off nothing, I've not met these people. But I also kind of wanted to go Pete Alonso, because I feel like Pete Alonso is a player that does not get enough love, and his stats were actually pretty good too, and the Mets have been doing well. So this was actually one that I was like low-key kind of split on, and if I went back, I probably would have picked Freeman or Alonso, but alas,
I think
we're
you made
here
the
now.
right choice with Harper. Alonso's
Probably,
having
yeah.
a good year too, but the thing is, when you're starting the All-Star game, you're the best. He's having a good year. He's not the best, though. Freddie Freeman's hitting, 298, and he's got 11 jacks. Alonso's hitting 241. Good, but he's got 16 jacks. That's what's good. That's what Alonso is going to give you. He's going to give you the long ball. Now, Harper has 18 home runs, and he's hitting 300. So he's better than both Alonso and Freeman in the stats that they're good at. You got to go with Harper. He's having a good year for the Phillies, and the Phillies are having a great year themselves. So you got to go with Harper. Now, second base is where we get a little frisky. You went Ketel Marte. I went Luis Arias, and I said, Ketel, why the hell did you go Ketel? And you kind of like told me your pitch, and I was like, yeah, it makes sense. Why'd you go with Ketel?
And I don't know if you have it open right now, but I actually have the ballot open again so that I can look at all the stats and everything. And Ketel Marte is now number 1, which I'm like, I don't understand. When you were like, what? You were like, Ketel Marte. I'm like, yeah, obviously. I don't know why I don't know how Arias is number 1 at the time that we were talking about this. He's number 2 now at the time of recording.
Probably. So, how many times you vote? You probably voted like 20 times.
You know what? I actually programmed a bot to vote for Ketel Marte. Yeah. Look, things we love about Ketel Marte. 1, great batting average. 2, 15 home runs. Nothing to scoff at. How many does Arias have?
That's a lot. Not a lot. Arias doesn't hit bombs.
2. Okay. How RBIs 43. RBIs. I will sometimes lean more towards RBIs than home runs because this is just as good. This is just as good, and we're getting movement on the bases, so I'm not mad at it. He's got a ton. How many does Arias have?
That's a little unfair. Arias is in a different spot in the lineup, so he's naturally not going to get as many RBIs. He comes up with less people on. Arias is one of the dudes who gets on base.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
He's not driving guys in. He gets on base. He gets stroked.
An OPS of over 800, and his name is Ketel Marte, which is such a fantastic baseball name. I can't stop saying it. It's so good. How could I not vote for this man? It's an obvious choice.
All right. I can tell you how. Batting average. Arias hits 315, baby. He's a stud. He flirted with 400 a couple years. Is it last year? A couple years ago, he flirted with 400. The guy's a demon. And I'm a sucker for batting average. And he's like one of my favorite players right now because I just love to watch him hit. So I might be
batting average
biased.
Is good, but it's not everything. I don't care if you get out if you bring in 2 runs.
That's not how the hell you gonna score 2 people on a sacrifice
I'm
fly?
Just saying, chill.
I know. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
My baseball brain started thinking.
It's a crazy ball.
All right, whatever.
It's a crazy ball.
Third baseman. We both went with Alec Bohm, who is he's first place with everybody else now. Manny Machado is number 2. Ryan McMahon with the Rockies, I don't think is getting enough love, but I guess that's because he plays in Colorado.
It was somewhat surprising to me that between Ryan McMahon and Joey Ortiz and Austin Riley that number 2 is Manny Machado. And I feel like this is where sometimes, look, half of the game is having that brand recognition of your name, right? Having fans that know who you are and being bigger than just your team and, being a person that people recognize. So I think that's what happens in some of these and it makes me somewhat sad because I feel like there are players that could do a good job. On an All-Star game, it would actually give us a really good game, but they're on teams like the Rockies, so nobody knows who they are.
That's unfair to say, but I see what you're saying. I see the point. People know who Ryan McMahon is, though. He's good.
Okay, but you know what?
Let's be fair.
Let's not think geeks. Let's think
who knows who Alec Bohm is if you're not a geek either? Let's be real.
Yeah, but everyone knows who Manny Machado is, which is my point. Okay,
fair. I see what you're saying. But Alec Bohm deserves it. He's hitting in the 300s, and he's got how many RBIs does that guy have? 63 RBIs. You're not putting Ryan. I know Ryan McMahon's good, but you're not putting Ryan McMahon over him. Shortstop, we both got Mookie Betts, who's injured. Probably won't start because of his injury, but you got to vote him in. It's Mookie Betts.
Doesn't matter.
He's hitting 304.
He could be retired. If he showed up on this ballot, I would still vote for him.
What's crazy is Mookie Betts, doesn't matter what position he'd play. If he played left field, he's an all-star left fielder. If he played second base, all-star second baseman. This year he's playing shortstop, all-star shortstop. He's leading in the shortstop category. The other guy's Trey Turner, who's hitting 342, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. That hasn't played a lot of games. Perdomo for the Diamondbacks.
Wasn't he injured?
Yeah.
Was Trey injured for a while?
He was. That's why he hasn't played a lot of games.
Yeah.
CJ Abrams with the Nationals, having a good year, hitting 270, 12 bombs, 39 RBIs. Lindor having a decent year. And Perdomo is having a solid year, but I don't think he's played that much either. Let's keep going to the Outfielders, our three outfielders. I thought we were gonna have some variation. Why are we the same person? We both picked Teoscar.
Which is wild because I feel like on this show we are not in agreement on anything as much as we are in agreement on this All-Star ballot.
Teoscar, Mr. Irrelevant, and Christian Yelich. Brandon Marsh is 5th. Teoscar's 3rd. Profar's 1st, which I think is funny. Will Smith called him Mr. Irrelevant. Now he's the leading outfield vote getter for the National League. Is Will Smith in the All-Star conversation? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Let's check it out.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is.
We both voted Contreras from the Brewers to start the All-Star game. Now I'm trying to scroll up to the catchers.
And he's number 1 right now, and I'm glad. I'm glad to see the Brewers getting some love. They've got some really good players.
JT Realmuto is number 2. I think this is the right choice. He's hitting 293. He's got 49 RBIs. Realmuto's got 7 bombs, 20 RBIs. Will Smith is hitting 272. Not bad. He's got a lot of RBIs at 46. So maybe he should get a little bit more love. But I kind of like the storyline of him calling Jerks and Profar Mr. Irrelevant and him not.
Who's Will Smith?
Yeah, exactly. Is he relevant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he? It sounds like in this race he's kind of
irrelevant.
We
might be holding on to a grudge.
I can do that.
I know you
that.
can. Yeah, you have this innate ability to do that.
The day I die.
Let's look at designated hitters. Come on. Don't even gotta mention it.
The fact that, like, there's even, I know it's Ozuna, but, like, the fact that there's anyone else getting any points here is crazy to me. Like,
it should be defaulted as your selection.
You don't want to see Ohtani as the DH on the All-Star game? What are we doing, guys?
No, Ozuna is giving it a good bid to give him, like, a run for his money. But, I mean, come on, it's Shohei. You're going to vote Shohei.
I think, honestly, at this point, I think MLB would be like, lose some ballots. Ohtani is going in the All-Star game.
Are you claiming election fraud for the All-Star game?
Fraud?
This is Lisa. What are we doing here? She's like,
stop
the count. Guys. Stop the count.
Yeah. They didn't come in time. Okay, that's it. Ozuna's out. Ohtani's in. Man. I don't want to hear it. Get that hand on that Bible and let's get this man in office.
Watch out, Lisa. We're going to get YouTube censoring us because we're talking about election fraud.
Obviously, we're talking about not the actual
All-Star game.
The All-Star ballot.
Stop the count. All right. Those are our picks. National League here. Let me switch to American League. These are our ballots. They might be good. They might be bad. I don't know. Nothing really crazy.
I like my ballot. I like that I have a combination of, like, the Bryce Harpers of the world, and that I threw a bone to Carlos Correa and those guys, like, of that world as well. This is I'm going to fight for my All-Star ballot. I think it's fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen a better ballot. That's me. That's what I'm doing.
You know what time it is? You know what time it is?
It's time for Fair or Foul.
Having way too much fun with these lights. Now I got it on. Let me.
You are. Someone's gonna have a seizure.
Yeah, I might. All right, let's. It's time for Fair or Foul, guys. Today we got something brewing. We've been talking about Grimace. We got some dudes who are really taking it to the head right here. They got beverages in their hands. We love to see the USA cap. USA, USA, USA. What do you think here? Fair or foul with these guys' body painting Grimace on their tummies? Mm-hmm. What you got?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll say it. Fair as hell. Love this energy right here. And also, I've never seen a dude look fat and muscular at the same time like the dude on the right. So props to you. You got both of the best of both worlds. Hannah Montana style.
So, learning moment. The guy on the right is like what the traditional dad bod was, which, like,
no, it's
fits.
not.
Yes, it is. I'm telling you.
Dad bod is like keg.
See, no, I'm a woman and I know these things. It
comes
down from girl headquarters and we all vote on it. And this was the original dad bod. And then somewhere along the lines on the internet, it became the keg, but it's not. So this is what a dad bod is supposed to look like. He's doing it well. I'm happy for him. Personally, I'm not really for people taking off their clothes like that in public. Like, I don't know, put your shirt on. I don't.
I'm for it. I think it's sweet. Especially
these guys could
Grimace.
have 6-packs, by the way, and I would say the same thing.
No,
like, I don't really. Yes, I would.
She literally said last episode she wants to see Ohtani play shirtless. So
if I did, it was a joke. This is not for me. And this actually leads me to believe that what we are experiencing with Grimace is worse than we thought. We are now seeing
A grimace
we are
epidemic.
seeing some sort of strange idolatry. It's getting weird, guys. Watch out. Watch
I
your
think
backs. That's
it's
all
like Stranger
I'm saying.
Things opened the gate to the upside down, and now everyone's like obsessed with Grimace in New York. Something's going on.
Foul.
Foul.
Foul. If a 5-year-old did not draw these, that is foul.
I
You're
think they
grown
did.
men.
Do you think they
put
drew?
this on you put this on your belly and you thought
Wait, do you think that they
Obviously.
drew each other? Like he drew on his
Yeah.
boy's
Oh,
belly, and his boy drew on
yes.
his belly, and they're both just like.
yeah, what do
Wait,
you
wait,
think?
fill
You
in the
think you were
eye.
in the mirror?
Fill in the eye. Stop flexing. I don't mean to tickles.
No.
It
And I
tickles.
see a wedding ring on the dad bod. So I know for a fact
A woman
that
did not
him
draw
and,
that.
I was gonna say, I know he had to do this with his boy because there's no way that his wife looked at this man shirtless,
Sure, honey, I'll
wearing
do it
that,
for you. Sure, honey.
and thought like, also peep the fact that he is wearing like somewhat dressier shorts, which means he absolutely left that. Now the other guy, he's not wearing a ring. He might be single. He might have left like that. He might have been on like the subway dressed like that. I would believe that. This guy though, he's wearing a belt. And he's got like dressier shorts on, which means that he was wearing like a polo or something. He probably has boat shoes on. And he left his house and his wife has no idea.
that this
Maybe
was on him the
even-
whole time.
Yeah, maybe even the kid drew it for him and he was like, don't tell your mother. And then ran out of there
Yeah.
to meet his
And then
friend in the subway.
borrowed the markers and drew it on his boy at the gate.
I'm not for this, guys.
All right.
Let's rein it in. Rein it in.
The next one we
Remember
got-
when I said,
What?
remember when I said that baseball had like a different caliber of men before?
Yeah, this is sick though. This is like American Hero style stuff. I like this. All right, I'm fair. You're foul. Let's look at the next one. Hot dog catastrophe in Dallas, Texas. Ooh, the $2 schlong fell right on the dude's shoulder. Fair or foul here? What do you think about
It's still playing for me. It's kind of slow. Sorry.
What do you think about the 3-foot glizzy dropping on someone's shoulder?
This is actually like a tragedy because,
It had to cost
My
like $50.
yeah, I was just going to say, my favorite part about going to baseball games is getting a hot dog. Like, I look forward to it more than almost like anything else about the game, like who's playing. I'm like, I cannot wait to get a beer and a hot dog. And like, this would have I might have cried. Like, I might have actually cried. And you know that thing costs like $100. Like, he had to put a down payment on his house to get that hot dog with all the works on it. Like, that's so foul.
That's
I'm
foul.
so
Yeah. If you
I
got
apologize
the
to this person.
if
I
you-
feel bad. I'm so sorry.
if you've got the yardstick glizzy, you gotta have like complete control of the glizz. You can't have loose fingers when you're hogging that meat around.
Classic
Secondly,
miscalculation.
who do you
and it
think
did
is
not go
more
well.
upset? Do you think the guy who just got the 20-pound dog fucking dropped on his shoulder? Or do you think it's the guy who was holding the 20-pound dog and just spent like $100 and now it's on the ground?
If it's me and that happens, like I'm the guy sitting and it falls on me, I would feel worse for the person who lost it.
You're tripping. Honestly, do you think that
Definitely-
guy picks it up and eats it?
No.
Puts it back in the bun? Honestly, 5-second rule, get it back in there.
Not with all, because it's got so many, like, the sauces and stuff and the cheese it collects. You can't have
They got
that.
spoons in that thing, so you can scoop it back up and slap it on there. I say foul. You gotta have the grip there.
Foul,
You can't.
bad,
Look,
tragic.
if
honestly.
you don't have the capacity to hold that kind of hog, you know that kind of hog ain't for everybody.
You
I'll
got to
be
know
honest.
that.
Yeah.
You got to know that going in, and you got to temper your hot dog expectations here, okay? We're not all yardstick hot dog people. That's okay.
Yeah.
It takes all kinds.
Sometimes some
It's all
people
right.
need a little dog. You know, that's all they can handle is a little dog. Some people you can have the
I
mammoth.
have-
You can have the mammoth.
I like a cute little American hot dog. That's all I want.
All right, the next one. We got during a Rickwood game, they showed the game like this. They actually brought out the old baseball broadcast and kind of showed a little bit of a half inning like that. Fair or
That
foul?
is so cool.
I think it's fair. I'd watch an entire game like this if it were up to me.
Yeah. No, this is fair. Hundo P. Is that what you children say now? Yeah, absolutely. I would do that. I think that, like, so you know me well. You are my brother.
I would think
You
so,
know that
sometimes I don't know.
something that drives me crazy is when we're watching like NFL and they do those like cartoon games where they like change the game to be
Oh
like
no, you're dumb.
under.
She bad take. She doesn't like the SpongeBob version of the
Yeah,
NFL games.
I don't. It's
This is cool
distracting.
though. I like this.
But this is cool. Like this is way better, and this is something I could get behind. I would love to watch. We've talked about these games, these like specialty games, how we feel about them. You already knew that I was going to be a big fan of the Rickwood game because I prefer when the games have meaning and nostalgia and they're like showcasing these historic parts of baseball. This is, I think, a great way to do that. It's classy. I love it. I think it's great.
Perfect. All right, we're at an hour and 5 minutes. So let's try to hurry up here. Get the
Round this shit up.
let's go to the upcoming games. Double fair to end the fair foul. We love to see that. All right, midweek matchups. Anything here where you're
We
like,
do.
this is
Last week
this
was
is it.
awful.
We got LA and White Sox $10 riding on tonight for me, so that's really important. Anything else?
Look, it's New York, New York, right? Like, I mean, this is a inner city rivalry that we love to see. It's a fun time. That'll be a good game, and it would also be interesting. It will also be interesting, bro. You're the one. You just said the
Sorry.
time. I think it'll also be interesting because the Mets do have the demonic power, potentially, allegedly, of Grimace.
Yeah, we don't know if it's dumb. Maybe something's going on. Something's going on.
And the Yankees are in a wussy slump. So the whole thing is gonna be an insane game, a series, and I'm looking forward to it. Guardians Orioles is another one. The Guardians did the work that they needed to do last week. The Orioles put in the work somewhat against the Yankees, not so much against the Astros. So that's going to be another one that we're really going to want to look for. Other than that, I'm not seeing. I mean, everyone else is playing, right? Like the Phillies will have a game. The Marlins
Braves Cardinals might be interesting because the Cardinals are playing really good baseball right now, and so are the Braves. And also for the Royals, if you're a Royals fan, this is a series you need to kind of get back on your horse. You got the Marlins coming into town at home, so
no, that's a good one.
gotta win
The
this.
Braves particularly, because I think the Braves are back to being the Braves, and I think we're about to start here.
And the Cardinals
We
are
talked
good.
earlier
Yeah.
about how like at the beginning of the season we weren't hearing much about the Braves at all, and I think that's gonna start to drastically change, especially as we get closer to October. So
If you're a Phillies fan, that
call out.
race is not over. Don't just because you were
No.
good. The Braves
Don't sleep.
Braves are good. All right, weekend matchups. Let's take a look. The Pooper Bowl. We got the Pooper Bowl. Rockies, White Sox. We also have Royals, Guardians. That could be a good matchup. Giants, Dodgers rivalry game there. That's going to be good too. And also Cubs, Brewers, another rivalry that's brewing there.
yep.
What's your other than that? I mean, Orioles, Rangers, maybe, but I don't really see
Not
anything
really.
crazy,
I mean,
crazy here that I like.
if the Royals kind of like pump themselves up by winning against the Marlins, then there's the potential for the Guardians and the Royals game a series to be very interesting, particularly because I don't think that the Royals are that far behind. Oh, I mean, they're 9 games
They've
back.
lost some ground recently. The Royals have, so
They have, but they're not necessarily out of it yet. There is room, especially if they can get the Guardians to kind of stumble this week, which the Guardians are going to be coming off the Orioles, so there's a chance that could happen.
the
So
Twins are hoping
think-
that happens too because they're
Yes.
chasing them down.
So yeah, I think that's the only other one I see.
The two primetime games, Fox Saturday, we got Dodgers at Giants. That's going to be a good one, fun to watch. And then Sunday night, we got an ALDS matchup, rematch, Rangers at Camden Yards versus the Orioles. So let's take a look at what the standings are. Last week, I went 2-0. You went 1-1. We finally got one of us over, like at 500 at least.
I got to
So,
start trying here.
you were like, oh my God, Ant, what should I do? I'm like, I don't know, trust your heart. I am now 14-14. I might clinch the playoffs this week. Who knows what's going on? Not a lot of baseball left. I did the intro for the show today, so you go ahead and give your picks first, and I'll tell you. Let's start with
Okay.
Saturday. Dodgers.
Yeah, I like
at
that.
Giants.
I like that. Okay, you said Dodgers and Giants. I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. I kind of don't want to, but yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
I'll go
With all of my
Giants
heart.
then. I'll go Giants just because it's at
Okay.
San Francisco. The sun's gonna be shining. I feel.
And these rivalry games are tough, but
Yeah.
I just think that like the Dodgers they're on like a 1-game win streak, so that's not much. But I think
they're playing good baseball.
They're playing good baseball. The Giants have been on a losing streak.
Yeah, the Giants aren't playing that good right now. But they will this weekend. They're going to win Saturday. Sunday, Texas Rangers at Camden Yards playing the Baltimore Orioles. Who do you got there?
I think that the Orioles, oh man. See, it's tough because this depends so much, I think, on what will happen against the Guardians, which I actually think that the Orioles will not do well against the Guardians. So I think that I'll take the Rangers.
Wow. All right, we're going to go opposite 2 games. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Orioles. The Rangers aren't really playing that good. So I'll go with Baltimore at Camden Yards. Them boys are going to rake. They're going to go crazy. And they're looking for blood.
They're not doing well, but the Rangers have been on an upswing. They'll have some good games against the Brewers next week, but I still think that the Orioles might be really down after the Guardians series. No?
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. All right, those are our picks. These are the standings once again. Lisa's 11-17. I'm 14-4. Other than that, that's all I got. That's all I really got.
That's all I've got. I've got nothing.
Cool. Well, I know it was a little bit longer. We talked about the All-Star Game. If you guys enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe. We do this every week on Mondays, and we also do videos.
Also do videos.
Once every 2 Fridays. Those are like deep dives, historical pieces, and just fun baseball commentary. Lisa's got one coming out this Friday, so stay tuned and check out the one I posted last Monday, which was supposed to be Friday. That's all I got.
Close enough. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things you're supposed to do. We really appreciate you watching us. And
push to 1,000. We're almost there. 1,000 subscribers.
We're so close.
Yeah. All right.
Peace.
Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun. I know that you said you don't think of me, but what you're doing now is telling differently. Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more